Fala pessoal do TecMundo, e aqui no Square Enix Showcase a gente está vendo também o Life is Strange. O jogo fez extremo sucesso durante esse ano, principalmente sobre a história. Eu tô com um dos criadores do jogo e também diretor de arte para falar um pouquinho sobre essas influências. So first, Michelle, thanks a lot for the interview. And before coming here, I was reading people and I was talking with friends about Life is Strange, and I think it would be interesting if we talk about the feel of the game and the inspirations for the game. I have seen a lot of people saying that Life is Strange is a game about people and their interactions. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good description, actually. Yeah, Life is Strange for us is really a story about the characters. It's mostly, of course, the story of Max, and it's a coming-of-age story. Everything that happened in the game is really here to be a metaphor of this coming of age of Max, this passing of Max starting the game as a child and finishing the game as an adult after the big decision she has to take in the game. Yeah, we have a lot of inspiration, of course, that we used for the game. We are French in our 30s, with the guy who created the game, and we grew up with a lot of American pop culture. And there were so many movies and TV shows that we loved when we were young that we wanted to use somehow as references for the game.
You talk about movies and TV shows, and I've seen that. Do you guys have a lot of Twin Peaks fans at the studio?
We do, at least I am a huge Twin Peaks fan. Of course, it is one of my favorite TV shows, and we really like Twin Peaks. There was really various inspiration, but Twin Peaks, X-Files, books from Stephen King.
Catcher in the Rye.
Of course, Catcher in the Rye, and maybe Buffy also, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, are some of the major, maybe not references, but inspirations at least. I think that we really wanted to create our own story, own characters, so we didn't really copy stuff from those references, but we really tried to look at those medias we love and to see how they managed to create characters that work so well. I'm a huge fan of Joss Whedon. I think that Joss Whedon is one of the best authors to create characters over a course of a TV show that works really well. And the characters in Buffy, I think that you have 7 seasons, and from the beginning to the ending, they're evolving in a way that they never break characters. You start, I can talk a bit about that. For example, if you take the character of Willow in Buffy, she starts as a really shy girl, shy nerd, teenager in season 1, and finish the series in season 7 as a really powerful witch, which has really become a woman with a lot of character, of personality, and it's really a progression that works perfectly well. And so we really tried to look at how Joss Whedon and other authors, how they managed to create characters that work so well. And this is, I think, some of the most inspiration we took, that looking how we managed to make those characters work well, and we tried to, on our level, to apply that in the course of our 5 episodes.
Yeah, and you touch a subject that I think it's part of Down Nod, like female protagonists. You guys did that, if you remember me. What do you guys think about that, and what are the challenges of working with female protagonists in this market?
I think at the beginning it's not a conscious decision. We never said ourselves, okay, we'll make a game, for sure it will be a female protagonist. We really started to work on the game having a few core ideas in mind, core ideas. We knew that we wanted to use the rewind to talk about choice and consequences, and to create a story about characters and intimacy. And then we brainstormed a lot about what could work, what kind of setting, what kind of characters. And I think we explored at a point some male characters for Life is Strange. We had a few different characters we created that could work, that we tried to see how we could tell a good story about them. But in the end, when we had the character of Max, and we thought that we would make the best story with her, that it was really the character we fell in love with, that we wanted to talk about.
So at the beginning of the story, you guys didn't have the protagonist settle?
No, we really had more the core ideas, like I said, more like you could rewind in time. We knew that we wanted to use choice and consequences and use this kind of butterfly effect to humanity, to talk about characters, what have evolved if we give them this kind of power. How we can question the idea of maybe that sometimes you have to accept the past, to not want to change everything in order to grow up. And then we worked on the characters. But I think that really quickly we had Max. But it didn't start by Max. It started by those big ideas, and then we worked on the characters. And then we had Max first. We had a really first quick draft of the story of Max alone, without Chloe. But it wasn't completely working. And then I think at a point we had this idea of, we thought that, okay, Max need a sidekick, need a secondary main character. And then we thought that we should definitely talk about friendship of 2 women. Could be really interesting, that was not dealt really often in video games. And we thought that using a story about friendship between two women we could also talk about a lot of themes that are interesting, that maybe the difficulty of being a woman in our modern society, all the hardships that can come to this, and also just friendship about two. It could have been friendship about two guys, but really strong friendships that can grow into something more about two characters of the same sex was really interesting for us to develop.
Okay, and now players have just received like the physical copy and the new edition of the game. What can people expect more from Life is Strange?
We are really happy that we have been able to have a physical edition, because at first the game was only planned for digital release. So having a box, even myself having a box in my hand, I'm so happy to see, okay, the game is in the stores, and that's really cool. And we also had a bit more time. So with the physical edition, we had the time to create a soundtrack, a small art book, which are really cool, and I think that the players will love to have the soundtrack in a CD and this art book. And we also had the time to make new localization, so there is subtitles for a whole set of new language, and
including Brazilian Portuguese.
Exactly, and Brazilian Portuguese and Mexican Spanish for Latin America, and also Italian, German and Spanish for Europe, which is awesome because it will bring new players and allow also new players to enjoy the game with their own language.
Okay, and now to close it out, Michel, I've seen on the internet that we're already talking about a new project from Dontnod called Vampyr. Can you say anything about that project?
I'm really waiting for it, because I'm not working on it. It's another team at Dontnod who is working on Vampyr. It was started when we were still working on Life is Strange, and we tried to do that at Dontnod, to have two teams working on two different projects, so we can also manage the resources of the company. And yes, I'm really excited. It's an action RPG, which of course will have more action, more fighting, but we'll still also have really strong storytelling, because that's something that we really love to do at Dontnod. It's really to tell stories. So yeah, I'm waiting for it as much as you do, I think.
That's it. Thanks a lot, Michel.
Thank you so much.
E é isso aí, pessoal. Eu conversei aqui com o Michel sobre o Life is Strange, inclusive sobre esse projeto novo da Dontnod, que o pessoal já está falando, Vampyr, um RPG de ação. Vamos ver o que mais os caras por trás de Remember Me e Life is Strange estão preparando pra gente. Isso aí, o TecMundo na Square Enix Showcase 2016.